What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now shout out to the DoD, Disciples of Doom. And today's video is going to be a special one for everyone playing the game right now, because this relates to not only the global event, but the current league. So let's jump into it. Alright, so if you go to your season activities, right now we have the Hollywood global event currently active, and also the Wraith League. Now you can see that I'm already very well into the league for this week. It just reset today and I've already pretty much finished up the whole thing. But today's build in particular is going to help you get these hyenas dazed. This is going to be like a dazed and confused build. So you can see week 1 of the league, I used a DPS build, and I was only able to get 52 hyenas dazed during that league event. However, just from today, I have already 10 times my last week's number, from 52 to 534, and that's just in one day. So that's comparing a DPS build with a actual build meant to do this particular job. So you can see I've already got max on all of these missions. It's fairly simple to do, and with this build you don't need a full squad. You can two-man it. You could even solo this, because the way I have this build put together, you are creating DPS, you are creating skill damage, and you are confusing and getting all these enemies on a dazed status effect. So don't take my word for it. Grab your popcorn, relax, and I'm going to go ahead and show you some gameplay footage of me using this build. That way you see what we're working with, and then we'll come back here for the build breakdown. But don't forget, hit that like, subscribe if you're new, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. But alright, let's go on to the gameplay. Be right back.
Looks like that key card is the one we were looking for. You're gonna need to get the access codes to the vault to recover the item the hyena stole from Air Force One. Our hyena insider says whoever's posted it in the old CEO's office will have a key card that should give you access to the vault.
Detected. Heavy ammunition.
We're set up in the mall. They're not getting through here. Don't die, mother.
Detected. Heavy munitions. Detected. Heavy ammunition. Another agent. Hostile restored protection. Hostile protection removed. Detected. Heavy ammunition. Another agent has joined your bout. An agent needs assistance.
Not yet.
Removed hostile protection. Immediate medical assistance needed.
Look, there was nothing you could have done for Espinosa.
Alright, hopefully that wasn't too much gameplay, but you can see exactly how I am using this build. I am doing damage with my weapon, I am doing damage with my skills, all while keeping those enemies on a dazed status effect, or I believe they call it confuse status effect. But alright, time for the build breakdown. Let's get into my Banshee Pulse build. So, looking just right off the bat, you can see this is a skill build with a sticky bomb and a Banshee Pulse. Now, what I do is I use that with Perfectly in Sync so that I can get the 40% more weapon damage, and then put that with the glass cannon that amplifies that. I'm doing some pretty good damage with my AR as well. But starting off at the top, specialization. You have to use the gunner specialization. Reason being is that is the only specialization that unlocks the Banshee Pulse. And this is how you are getting those enemies on a disoriented, dazed, and confused status effect. So right off the bat, you have to run the gunner specialization. So what that tells you is you have to have all of these tier 6 to make the build the same as this one. Now obviously you can, mix and match these, but what I'm doing and how I explain to you how I'm using this build, you will understand that this is probably one of the best ways to run it. Now you could, I guess, put them maybe a vial mask on just so that when you pulse them it also hurts them, but that would be the only difference you could do here. But I'm specifically using these brand sets together for a very valid reason. And let's talk about the skills and figure that out. So the Banshee Pulse, this is what the build is all about. This Banshee Pulse. Now, for this one, it applies a disoriented status effect. That's what I keep saying with the confused and the dazed. They word it differently everywhere, but what it is essentially is just a disorient pulse. So for this one, the cooldown is at 12.9 seconds. The duration, 13 seconds. And then the effect duration, 7.7 seconds. Now that's with a radius mod on top of that. Now looking at the mods, I am running that radius mod for the gunner specialization. And then I'm using a skill haste mod. That's how I'm getting back the cooldown faster than the actual duration of the pulse. Now what's cool with this is I am running it with the sticky bomb. Not the burn sticky bomb, but the actual damage sticky bomb. So for this one, the cooldown is at 14.4 seconds and does over 4.6 million damage. I'm saying that because the 14.6 is just the on paper damage for the skill, and that's showing you that it's a tier 6, you're getting the damage bonuses and whatever mods you're running. But I'm saying at least because I do have glass cannon on my chest piece, so all damage that I deal is amplified by 25%. And you saw with the gameplay footage, I am doing these speed runs. I'm not going down. We are actually running through these missions. We're trying to get really high times. And using these two together, it's pretty much a done deal. Especially if you can hit the Banshee Pulse right as the enemies are clustered together, then you can sticky bomb them and kill probably a good 80%. And then if not, you can just mow them down with your AR and get the perfectly in sync proc on top of that, and you're just mowing them down with that. So you can start to see where, the method is on this. Now, running the brand sets the way I'm doing it, just to give you a quick summary, I'm running the 3 Empress because the Empress 3-piece gives you skill efficiency. Now you could switch one out and go with, say the Vial Mask to get that extra damage from the pulse, but you really don't need it because you're running a sticky bomb and you're running 2 weapons within sync. So it doesn't really matter if the pulse is hurting them as well. Now the 3-piece Empress gives me a whole lot of advantages. So the skill efficiency gives you skill haste, the skill duration, skill damage, status effects, and all of those together. That's how my pulse and my sticky are so high, and I get them back so quick because that skill efficiency helps out everything about your skills. And I would rather have that, in my opinion, than to run it with the Vial Mask. But I do agree, if you put the Vial Mask on, you would do a whole lot more damage just with that pulse alone. Because the entire premise of this is to use this pulse with the Creeping Death talent. That way you can spread the disorient status effect to all enemies. So if you wanted to run it with the Vial Mask, that does help you right there for the damage. But for me personally, the sticky bomb and the perfectly in sync works just fine, and I actually enjoy having the pulse back faster than the duration goes away, because it feels like it's just pulse, sticky, pulse, like it's just non-stop, and it's really efficient for these league events and speed runs. But alright, so let's do deep dives, starting with the weapons. Primary is the test subject. Reason being is perfectly in sync. I pretty much have this enabled all parts of the mission, because as soon as I pulse them, I get the weapon damage, and as soon as I shoot them, I get, the double weapon damage. So that's really what I want. I'm not worried about having this, make my sticky bomb, even better, because the sticky bomb is already one-hitting, 80% of all the enemies it touches, excluding, some of the bosses, but that's about it. So I'm using this for the perfectly in sync. It does come with damage to targets out of cover with 9%, and then I have max AR and health damage. Going to the mods, nothing crazy, just weapon handling and accuracy. I'm not worried about hitting them with crits or headshots. I'm just worried about hitting the enemy with this so that I can proc the perfectly in sync and take full advantage of it. Now, same goes with my secondary. I'm not really using the secondary too much unless I am reloading and there's an enemy in front of me. But besides that, I am using the perfectly in sync, but I do have this in sync for my secondary. So this is the SIG MPX. It has 74.4k total damage with max SMG damage, max damage to targets out of cover, and 17.5 crit chance. Now it comes with in sync. It's basically the same thing as perfectly in sync, just instead of 40%, you get 30% skill and weapon damage when fully procced. Now going to the sidearm, again, not really using it. I'm primarily using my test subject with my skills because I'm using those so much. Those are primary. And the rest of this is just in case of emergency. So in case of an emergency, I have a double barrel sawed-off. This one's at 868.8k total damage with max shotgun damage, 7% damage to armor, and 8% damage to targets out of cover. Now the talent, preservation, so every time I whip this thing out, kill an enemy, I get that armor repair over 5 seconds. And that's just in case of emergency. So there are the weapons. Now I've already given you a summary about the build, so let's do a deep dive. Starting with the mask. Empress International. So the Empress International brand set bonuses I get from this build, 10% skill health, 10% skill damage, and 10% skill efficiency. For the attributes, I have 1 skill tier, 9.6 skill haste, and max skill damage. For that mod, another skill haste, 11.8%. Going to the backpack, Wyvern Wear. Now the brand set bonus I get from this, 10% skill damage. For the attributes, it comes with that skill tier. I have skill damage at 7.8%, and then also status effects, 10%. Now for the mod, I have another skill haste mod, 11.9%. Now remember, I'm using this for that creeping death. I just want to spread the Banshee Pulse to all enemies around me. That way everyone's confused. I can focus on either sticky bombing them or shooting them in the head. Now, creeping death, just so you know, when you apply a status effect, it is also applied to all enemies within 8 meters of that target. And you can do that every 15 seconds, which is coincidentally the same as the cooldowns on my skills. So as soon as I get my skills back, I more than likely already have creeping death back. Now going to the chess piece, Hanayu Corporation. So the Hanayu Corporation brand set bonuses I get from this build, 10% skill haste and 10% skill damage. For the attributes, it comes with that skill tier. I have max skill damage and 11.3% skill haste. For that mod, another max skill haste mod. Now the talent, Glass Cannon. All damage you deal is amplified by 25%. So it doesn't matter if it's my sticky bomb, my weapon, doesn't matter. It is amplified by 25%. However, all damage I take is amplified by 50%, which, yes, you are a little squishy. However, if you know how to, adapt to that playstyle, it really doesn't matter. You're just doing a whole lot of more damage. Going to the gloves. Empress International. Skill tier, max skill damage, and 9.3 skill haste. Knee pads, Hanayu. Skill tier, max skill damage, and skill haste. And then finally the holster, Empress International, with max skill damage and 11.2% skill haste. Now you can see all of these skill haste mod or attributes are not maxed out. So you could get your skills back a lot quicker. I say a lot, probably, you know, like 0.5 seconds quicker than I do with this current setup. But there's no problem with it. I get it back pretty much as soon as I need it. For every engagement, I have my skills, so it's really not a problem. That gameplay alone, you could see we're just walking through these speed runs. But alright, let's finish off with the stats. Alright, so this is for the test subject. Like I said, this is my primary weapon. I use this a majority, if not all of the time. So 64.6k weapon damage with 10% crit chance, 45 crit damage, 75 headshot damage. Remember, it does have that 21% health damage from the fact that it's an assault rifle. Now for the offensive tab, 10% all weapon damage bonus with 15% AR damage bonus. So every time I'm using the test subject, I have 25% damage bonus total. Now don't forget about the damage to targets at a cover that are on the weapon itself. Now the gear talents, I am using Creeping Death with Glass Cannon. Creeping Death for the Pulse and Glass Cannon for my weapon and Sticky Bomb. Defensive tab, 726k armor with 72.6k armor on kill. I do have just under 333k health, and then 10% explosive resistance and hazard. These are due to my watch level, so that brings me to my disclaimer I do for all my build videos. So for this build, I am shade level 1823. That means that all of these attribute boxes are maxed out 50 of 50. Now, if you were to copy and paste my build and your shade level is below 1000, some of the attributes will not be the same and they will be lower than mine. That is because you do not have all of these boxes maxed out. Now, if you have the, shade level 1000 or higher, you will have all of these boxes maxed out. And all you have to do is copy and paste my build and you'll have the exact same stats, the exact same results. Pretty simple. And there you go. This is my Banshee Pulse build for the current global event and league event. And yeah, little season 6 action. We're doing some Wraith League with that Hollywood global event. Yeah. I've pretty much fixed it, finished it all, but I'm trying to hit 1,000. I think I'm going to go for 1,000. Wow, because some of these guys are already over 2,000. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm 102nd in the world. I'll do a couple more runs, make sure I stay, top 100, because it's a lot of fun. I like using this build, and these speed runs are actually pretty easy. Especially District Union on challenging, bruh, it's so easy. You could just walk through it. It's like confused, sticky, like yes please. But alright, I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the build. But yeah, have a good rest of your week. It is the reset, so don't forget about the weekly vendor. And tomorrow is Cassie Mendoza. I'm going to do a few more live streams, a few more days this week, followed by some more builds. But alright, I'm Kamikazevondoom. Hit that like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.